Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Talking Reds, where we bring you the latest Liverpool news and transfer news and much, much more. And tonight's stream is going to be a very, very interesting one, to say the least, Reese. Big breaking news on Alexander Isak earlier on. A little bit more on Hugo Ekitike and his move to Newcastle, maybe on or off. Liverpool interested still in Ekitike as well. Rodrygo, and also the future of Luis Diaz and where he lies now. Is he leaving Liverpool sometime soon? And we're also going to be speaking about a little bit on Ibrahim Konate as well and his future at Liverpool. But first things first, the first thing I want to just address was something that happened this morning on our morning stream. Someone came in the chat with a pretty much a disgusting message in the chat, and I was not happy about it at all. So I'm just warning everyone that whoever comes into chat, whether you're rivals, whether you're Liverpool fans or rival, it's all good love in this chat. It's all good, positive vibes. And I don't mind banter from rivals, but out of order comments will be banned. And people like that will be banned from the channel and blocked from the channel. So make sure you do keep the chat. You can have the banter between fans, Newcastle fans, Man United fans, whoever wants to come in. You can have the banter between us and you lot, but make sure you keep it respectful, please, in the chat. And thank you for watching tonight. Make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We have got 806 now subscribers. We hit past the 800 mark last night. 806 subscribers now, on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So, as you've seen on Twitter today, have you seen all over social media today? The main topic is Alexander Isak, guys. Alexander Isak. I'm sure there might be a couple of Newcastle fans joining us tonight. Jonathan's usually in, so but this is what it's all about. It's all about talking about as fans, as rival fans, talking about the deals together. And I know Newcastle fans don't want to talk about the Isak thing, but it is what it is. You got to front it up. You got to front the news. Does it mean that he's leaving? Does it mean that he's leaving Newcastle or joining Liverpool? No. We don't know what's going on just as yet. But let's get on with the news then, Reese. David Ornstein and Romano both came out at quite a similar time on this specific news. Liverpool making an approach to sign Alexander Isak from Newcastle. No formal bid, but Newcastle stance has always been not for sale. However, as the time's gone on, Reese, I seem to see that the journalists close to Newcastle, like the likes of Lee Ryder, the likes of, I think, Sam Wallace, I think their tone's changing slightly. It's always been, is not for sale, that is it. But now it's like, if he admires an approach from a team that he wants to maybe go to, they could be open to selling.
Yeah, for me, the saying always goes, a lot of the time, some people might be stubborn, they might be stuck up, there might be the pride, might have kind of pride there where they don't want to sell someone. But for me, everyone's got a price. Everyone's got a price. So even though Newcastle are saying he's not for sale, that doesn't mean Isak doesn't want to go. From sources from what I know of, but obviously I can't disclose those, Isak he's informed them that he wants to leave. So for me, but obviously he's doing it the respectful way for his agent. He's not trying to leave by tarnishing his name. He wants to leave. For me, because if you look at it, you got to deep it. Why are they going after Ekitike? I know a lot of this from the Newcastle fans, they're saying they're getting Ekitike to play with Isak. That doesn't make sense. Eddie Howe's never played 4-4-2 in his life. He doesn't play with two strikers. And you've got a World Cup year coming up next year. So which one of them is going to sit on the bench? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not going to be Isak. And I doubt Ekitike is going to be leaving where he is to go to Newcastle, sit on the bench. So for me, obviously what Newcastle are trying to do is they're trying to get a striker first before they sell Isak. Obviously, I know it hurts their fans' feelings. He's their best player. He's their pride and joy. But it's a similar situation to what's happening with Liverpool and Real Madrid. Real Madrid kind of come and steal our players on a free. Yeah. We get annoyed at it, but at the end of the day, we're the big shot when it comes to Newcastle. So they're a big club with history. I'm not saying they're not, but they think they're bigger than what they are, respectfully. And for me, it's not a matter of if, it's when. I believe Liverpool will get Isak, because you either look at it this way. It's either if we don't get him this year, we'll take Ekitike, because from what it sounds like, he prefers to go to Liverpool instead of Newcastle, always has. It's just kind of waiting on Liverpool. What will happen is we'll either get Ekitike now, and next season we'll come back for Isak and we'll get him for 30 or 40, 50 million cheaper. So for me, it's kind of win-win for us. Obviously, I would like Isak this this window. I'm quite confident that we're going to get him this window. But for me, all this delaying, even I put a tweet out about Sky Sports. Sky Sports are meant to be this massive media kind of outlet, but they're not what they are anymore. It's just really, really bad how they can't read between the lines. What sources are feeding them information. It's horrible. It's horrible because they're saying Liverpool's going to battle it out for Ekitike just because Newcastle said not for sale. No, that's not how transfers work. Just because someone says not for sale doesn't mean there's no way you can't get the player. Like they said, it will take a record-breaking bid, a bid that Liverpool's willing to make. From the sounds of things, Liverpool are loading up to potentially offer 130 million as their first bid. Obviously, that hasn't been confirmed yet, but there's been a lot of rumors and things circulating on Twitter. And like I said before, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. So I'm looking forward to when we get Isak. For me, I know that
you are very confident about this one.
I'm
not as confident as it. I don't think it is as a win-win. It is for Liverpool, because for me, if we get Ekitike and that's it, I don't think that's a good move. However, we could still end up. There's still a possibility that Newcastle get Ekitike and we don't get any of them.
I don't think so.
A striker. That is a possibility.
How much of a possibility would you say that is? Because Ekitike doesn't want to go to Newcastle.
Right now,
so for me, I don't think
so. Basically, what we've been saying actually, really, for the last few months, it all depends on Isak. If he pushes slightly or something, Newcastle give in to that little push, then maybe not. But the narrative seems to be changing slightly, and this is what I'm saying. And one thing I will say about Liverpool, and when they move for players, Newcastle fans, they wouldn't move for a player if they didn't know if that player didn't want to sign for him. They won't do it. They won't do it. Not fully, not approach the clubs. We won't do that. And if we do bid, if there is a bid coming up for Liverpool and Liverpool do make a bid, then I can assure you, Newcastle fans, that they've been in contact with Isak and he's happy with whatever could be offered. Because Liverpool don't move, Liverpool don't put a bid in unless something is in place personally at first. So, according to Chris Waugh, who is an Athletics Newcastle writer, Newcastle never expected Isak to push to leave, but should he be attracted by the prospect of moving to Anfield, perhaps that changes now and approach has been made. Again, this is what I'm saying. If Liverpool do rock the boat, as these Newcastle journalists seem to be saying that it's all about upsetting the apple cart, upsetting the camp of Isak, then there's still a chance for Isak to not just make his mind up, but I think there's a chance there to just maybe make him stand up a little bit and say, hang on a second, Liverpool actually want me here. And whether it is to upsetting him or not, I think Newcastle Isak, it'll cross his mind at some point saying, yeah, maybe I could go to Liverpool. Whether that's enough in his mind to say, yeah, let me go speak to Newcastle about it, I do want to go, that's a different situation. But it will certainly cross his mind. And once it's crossed someone's mind, when he's got the idea of Wirtz behind him, when he's got the idea of Mohamed Salah to the right of him, why wouldn't it change his mind?
And potentially Rodrygo to the left of him if Diaz leaves. So
don't get me excited.
There's a lot. It's not about getting excited. It's about reading the room, man. People need to understand what Liverpool are doing here. We're moving like big dogs. I've been saying Liverpool's back. So if you're not on board already, Damon, based on who we've got already, I don't know why you're worried. You didn't think we was going to get worse.
I'm not worried. I'm chill. If we don't get Isak, we don't get Isak. If we do,
you don't believe. I don't know why you don't believe, because look at what happened with Wirtz. Did you think we was going to get Wirtz? Be honest. At the start, did you think we was going to get Wirtz? I don't think. No.
If I'm honest, I didn't think we were going to go in for some Wirtz because we don't really need that position as such.
We did.
Not desperately, not as much as the other positions.
I think we did desperately in it. Szoboszlai is not good enough for that position. That's why. So he got pushed back to the 8th. But yeah, obviously agree to disagree.
But no, you know what I'm saying? I do think we needed a 10, but not as much as other positions. Does that make sense? And normally in recent transfer history, we sort of put those sort of positions to the back burner. Does that make sense?
No, I hear you. But yeah, like I said, it's not a matter of if for me, it's when. So,
but I am much more hopeful now about if this was 2 years ago, you're asking me, do we get an Isak? I'm not even listening to you. I'm doing that. There's not a chance. I'm not even getting myself excited. Because see how excited I am now. I think there is a possibility of getting Isak. But again, it is on Isak's shoulders. If he does want to leave, I think he does push. And I've always said, look, if Liverpool now, if we see that door open, I think we push through it. In recent past, we've locked it, double locked it, and called Style UK to get new doors out. That's what we've done in the past.
I think we're knocking the door off the hinges right now.
I think we are. I think
we're
down.
That's what we're kind of doing now. So that's why I said I'm not worried whatsoever. I understand why Newcastle fans are in their feelings, why they're upset, why they're rattled. I understand, but this is how kind of life goes. When a shark is circling and there's fish about, this is what happens. It's predator and prey. So it's just normal proceedings. That's how I see it.
DB says here, keep hitting the lights on the way in, people. Please subscribe if you haven't. 1K subscribers incoming. Thank you so much, DB. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Shay, Jen, I can see the usual lot are still in tonight, and it's absolutely lovely to see everyone pretty much every single night. I see you guys. It's so nice to see you every night. Welcome in, Prakash. I've not seen you for a week or so, Prakash, a couple of weeks. So I hope you're well. Walid in as well. Let's see what Walid says here. Isak will be one bam. Thank you, ma'am. Deal. The deal will not take long as both clubs have business to do. And yeah, I think regarding Isak, it depends how quick Newcastle get Ekitike done. If Newcastle can get Ekitike done, then I can see us really pushing for Isak a little bit quicker. But this has come out of nowhere really today. I know we've always been interested in Isak. It's always been there and thereabouts. I know apparently we made informal contact with Isak a couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. So, but this today has just come out of absolutely nowhere. And once it comes out like that, like I said, something has had to have happened between Isak and Liverpool. It has had to. We don't ever put out into the press that we've made an approach with someone if we're not confident and that player is wanting to join us. I can absolutely assure you that. So let's really go through more reports as well. Lee Ryder, obviously, and again, Newcastle writer, has said that if it thinks it's going to be an agent-driven thing at the moment. I don't think there's anything into it. But Luke Edwards for the Telegraph, again, another Northern writer, said Liverpool will be willing to offer around 120 million, but that has prompted Newcastle hierarchy to reiterate the message that their star player is not available this summer. It remains to be seen that Liverpool whether that deters Liverpool. The suspicion is that they would not have made an approach if they had not been encouraged to do so. Exactly what I have just been saying. Liverpool will not approach anyone until they've had an encouragement. What do you think, just for argument's sake, Reese, what do you think the number could be that could maybe sway Newcastle?
I think when we do put our bid across, the first bid anyway, it's rumored to be around 130 or 100 million plus add-ons and whatnot. Even heard potentially Elliott could be involved in the deal, but I think between 120 and 140, that's what I think. I know they're saying 150, but I think you got to kind of come and meet like in the middle.
Yeah.
But I don't think, even though they're saying that, I think that's just to try and scare Liverpool. Whereas I think it's kind of thrown Newcastle off guard, I think, today, and a lot of people, because they haven't expected this. But like what you just said there, there's obviously been encouragement, and then the encouragement ain't been from Newcastle, it's been from Isak and his agent. So for me, that's why I'm confident when I'm saying it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because for me, I think Isak's going about it the respectful way. But if he's come and he's told his agents, told the club, from what it sounds like from a few weeks ago, that he's not interested in signing a new contract, but he's going about it the respectful way. He's also, from what it sounds like, said that he probably wants to move to Liverpool. If they turn him down, I think that's when he might have to be in a position where he forces the move, because he's going about it a respectful way, but Newcastle are doing the wrong and strong because you don't want to lose him, kind of thing. Which I understand.
Everyone has the price.
But that's, we've said this as well, and I understand why they don't. But end of the day, we're a bigger team than Newcastle. Our project, the trajectory we're on right now, I mean, we've got one of the best projects in the world, if not the best in the league. We're trying to retain the league. We're trying to go on and dominate. We're not just trying to come here and have a one season wonder. So I just think it's a matter of if, not when. And I think you got to realize why did they all of a sudden start going for Ekitike yesterday, when what they've been looking for is a backup, like a backup to Isak. Going to buy a player of Ekitike's magnitude, he's not coming in to be a backup. He's not coming in to be a transition player. He's not coming in to be in the shadow of Isak. So for me, obviously, there's been things happening behind the scenes. So that's why I'm confident. I do believe Liverpool will get Isak.
Well, what I saw earlier, there was like a meeting last week. One second, I'm just going to get it up here now. So this was 50. Also today, Mr. Hardy Sport, who is Martin Hardy for Northern Sports correspondent for the Times. This is what he's had to say about it. So Liverpool, Newcastle are bracing themselves for an official offer from Liverpool about £130 million. The agent of Isak met Adiao at the club's training ground this month. And this is what he said. Since that meeting, Newcastle have embarked on their own move to sign Hugo Ekitike for what would be a club record fee. That's what that tells me there is Isak's told them, or Isak's agent at least has told them something in that meeting, and they've acted upon it and thought, yeah, we need to get Ekitike in. And they say, of course, the journalists around Newcastle will try to put a PR spin on it. You know, possibly we know how journalists work, especially ones close to clubs. They will make it look like Ekitike is coming in to be a contender for Isak. They will make it look like to play alongside Isak. That's the word they've been using. But really, if you really look at them both and how similar both are, and the fact that Newcastle won't play with two strikers up front, it seems that they are ready to succeed Isak. It seems like they're preparing for Isak to leave with Ekitike coming in. Do you agree on that?
No, 100%, bro. This is what I've been saying already. That's why I said I understand why Newcastle fans are in their feelings, but it is what it is. That's why I said I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
Yeah. I absolutely respect Newcastle.
So,
I think Newcastle can get to the point of challenging for titles in a couple of years' time. If they keep going where they're going, the trajectory they're going in. But Isak can't look at that now. Isak's like I said, Isak's going into his prime. He wants to be challenging for titles now. And if that opportunity comes up for Liverpool to come in, then you've got to say, look, Alexander's up to say that. And I'm the same with Trent. Look, I've always been the same with Trent as well. Like, if he wants to go to Newcastle, if he wants to go to Real Madrid, then fair enough. I always knew that he could go to Real Madrid. The same with Konate. If Konate goes to Real Madrid, go to Real Madrid. But at the end of the day, if you deal with it right the way, then I'll accept it. But it seems like 98% of the Newcastle fans are not accepting what's going on here. I'm not saying not accepting that it's going to happen, but it's accepting any of the talk of it, possibility of being happening. Because it has got a strong possibility of happening. Liverpool are a massive club. We've just won the league. If Isak comes, he's going to play in front of Wirtz and alongside Salah, the two most creative players in the league. You know how many goals he can get with those two players behind him? Is absolutely a joke. And Real McCoy said here, you are wrong. If Newcastle get Ekitike, they won't sell Isak. And what one thing, I mean, DPK chatted it this morning with the Newcastle fans on our stream this morning and said, you know, what formation are you thinking then? What are you gonna? What's the plans at Newcastle? If you bring Ekitike in and you're playing him alongside Isak, who's being dropped? What formation change are you making? Are you dropping a midfielder?
exactly.
Because that Newcastle midfield is what they're built around.
Exactly.
That Newcastle midfield is what scares me going against them. That's what beats you, that Newcastle midfield. You can't drop any of those three midfielders to get another striker in there. But then are you going to play no wingers? Is Gordon going there is Gordon leaving? Is Elanga not playing on the wing? What's going on? You've got to look at it all. And Ekitike, if they do manage to get Ekitike in, and still keep Isak, I think that's unbelievable business from Newcastle. That is unbelievable business. And if Ekitike is happy to be backup or a rotational player, then fair enough. But a 70 to 80 million pound player to be a backup, to originally be a backup, because obviously we bought Nunes in. He ended up becoming backup. He wasn't bought to be a backup. Does that make sense? If Ekitike comes in and they want to keep Isak, Ekitike has got to accept he's being bought as a backup because he ain't getting above Isak. Not a chance. And there's no way for me they both work in the same system unless they change formation. Even then, they're still quite a similar player. The two similar players. I think if you have two strikers, for me, you need two different types of strikers together playing. A bit like the old school days. You know what I mean? You play 4-4-2 like Heskey, Owen. Two different strikers. One that gets in behind, one that can hold the ball up. And Ekitike and Isak are quite similar. That's why they're on Liverpool's radar. Both similar profiles, but Ekitike just isn't as good as Isak. So yeah, it is gonna be a very, very interesting time for Liverpool fans right now, and certainly Newcastle fans, whether they want to stick their fingers in the mouth in their mouth, fingers in their ears, or cover their eyes. They can do that all they want. This Isak story is not going away. Isak to Liverpool could be on, and that doesn't come lightly. Obviously, the bid is expected to be coming. Contra Florian Pettenberg, a bid's expected to be coming. Contra Matt Hardy Sport. So, brace yourselves, Newcastle fans, brace yourselves, Liverpool fans. But if we got Reece, and I always go back to this, 3 months ago, I put it in the chat earlier, 3 months ago, I did a stream on 3 ambitious signings. My 3 ambitious, this was before Salah and Van Dijk. This was still when the season was going on, before Salah and Van Dijk had signed a contract. My 3 ambitious signings this summer were Wirtz, Isak, and Rodrygo.
That's my 3. That's my 3.
That was my 3 months ago on a stream on here before anything even talks about Wirtz. It was the season was still going, and Salah and Van Dijk hadn't signed new contracts. That's how long ago it was. And those 3 were my ambitious signings. If we were to get all those 3, it would be ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, in a good way. Shay's asked here, what's going on with Gahey? So there was actually a report about Gahey, Shay, and that was the fact that if Palace don't move on their £45 million stance on Gahey, I think Liverpool will pull away. They won't pursue him. That's what we're dealing with. I think that'll be Ben Jacobs. I saw that earlier on. So yeah, Liverpool will not proceed with a deal for Matt Gahey if Crystal Palace asking price for £45 million plus is not reduced. So yeah, that's a no-go unless Crystal Palace come down a little bit on the price. And it's a bit like with us and Nunes really and Napoli. I think Nunes to Napoli is on if they pay the money or we drop the price.
Yeah,
and right now we're not dropping the price.
To go back onto the point that you said about Mark Gay, I think that's still going to get done. A lot of the time, people think when something goes quiet, that means it's dead in the water. But I think the groundwork's being put in. Obviously, he already wants to come. Crystal Palace have to bring the price down. I think, but the only thing is, I think if it does happen, it'll happen towards the end of the window because the owner is very stubborn. But either way, if we don't get him now, we'll end up getting him next summer. So for me, I think we will get him, but I think that won't happen. That'll end up. I think that'll be our last signing, our last incoming. I think, which will happen.
And that pretty much a similar situation to what is what's happening with Konate and Real Madrid and what happened with Trent. And it is something that needs to be sorted with Konate. It is annoying with Konate, and it does look like the way it's going right now. It looks like Konate is going to be leaving. Whether it's this summer or next summer. That's what it looks like right now. That's the odds of it happening.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be this summer though, because I don't think Rome.
I think they're
going to bid the money. I don't think.
I don't think they will.
It'll probably be next season, but I still think there's a chance he stays. It just drags out like the Salah and Virgil thing because you will have a whole season to deal with it. So, and in that time, it's either he goes next year and Liverpool will put in the groundwork to find his replacement, like another player. Obviously, people will say Mark Gay is the replacement, but for me, Mark Gay is coming to replace Kwanzaa. So it depends how you look at it. Unless they go out and get a replacement for Kwanzaa, Mark Gay is the Konate replacement, or we have a great season next season. They come to some sort of compromise. Maybe he gets the money he's looking for, but he realizes also that Liverpool's the better, more attractive club. Because for me, apart from money, in terms of the direction Liverpool Real Madrid's going in. I don't get why a player would want to go to Real Madrid. Yeah, they got the history, but if you look at them, I know it's pre-season, but I don't know if anyone saw that game against PSG. They kind of got absolutely battered into the ground like a baguette. So for me, Liverpool for me is way more attractive in my opinion. The only reason I can see him going there is because he's going to get the money that he's maybe not Liverpool not maybe offering him. But in terms of projects, Liverpool's trajectory for me is going like in a much higher direction, a much positive direction than Real Madrid. I think Alonso's got a massive job on his hands at Real Madrid there for me because they're missing a few key units in that team. But
like I said though about Konate, if players don't want to be here, then they can leave.
I don't think it's not he doesn't want to be here. I think it's that Liverpool haven't offered him what he wants.
A bit like Diaz.
I think that's what it is. I don't think it's that because he's never come out and said he doesn't want to be here. So for me, it's because he probably wants 200,000. Liverpool are not willing to offer that. So I do think it will probably get dragged out, because I think at the minute, I understand some of our fans being like, if he doesn't want to be here, let him go. But at the same time, who you going to bring in as a replacement that's going to replace the monster?
I get that.
Hold on. Who's going to replace the magnitude in terms of the player that Konate is? I think if we let Konate go now, we're not going to retain the league. That's how I see it. So for me, I'd rather you try and see if you can bring it together. And worst come to worst, if you can't, you let him go next season. In that time, you would have found a replacement. You would have had a year, but in that time, you would have won the Premier League. You might have won the Champions League. You might have won a cup. So for me, everyone can say let him go now, but I think that's like more pride than anything, because you're not going to get a player of his magnitude coming in right now. Mark Gay is a good player, and he has the potential to get to Konate's level, but he's not on Konate's level right now. Not for me. So
it's a catch-22, isn't it? I do get where we're coming from, and that you want to keep him for the season, because our aim this season is to win the league, and that keeping Konate is a big part of that for me. And if he goes next season, then he goes next season. But then again, you got to look at the other side of the coin as well and say, look, it's player power again. At some point, Liverpool can't keep letting this happen.
Yeah.
And players doing what they want. Oh, we've run the contract down and go for free. We got bit by Trent. We can't get bitten again. You know, it's like once bitten, twice shy. That saying that it goes, you can't keep doing it again. And we've got to make sure we take control of the situations. Because like I said last season with Trent, regarding Trent, it felt like he was on loan for a season from Real Madrid. And we can't let Real Madrid run things like that. We can't do it. DB says there, what's the Euro millions numbers for tonight? DB, if I knew the Euros millions numbers for tonight, because I predicted the free players, I didn't predict the free players, they're just the free players I wanted to get in. If I knew that, I don't think I'd be sharing my information. The word is, Reese, Liverpool consider Guehi done, but being respectful and waiting for Palace to sign. Diamande first to Palace. I think regarding like Guehi and Isak specifically, I think it could rely a lot on those clubs bringing the players in. Like I said, if Newcastle bring Ekitike in, that could be a domino effect onto Isak to us. If Palace get that Diamande deal sorted to bring Diamande in, then it could be a domino effect for Guehi to come to us. I'm really happy with our signs, but contract management and wages is shaky. But I also don't want to want wages structure issues. No, definitely not. I mean, the signings this season have been fantastic so far, and the players that we've been linked with are exceptional. But these wages are a big, big problem. These constant back and forth between wage arguments and wage disagreements and players going for free is a big, big problem. It really is. And speaking of problems and speaking of wages and not agreeing on wages, Luis Diaz has reportedly told Liverpool that he wants to move. And it is Bayern Munich, again, has submitted an official bid to Luis Diaz, which was 67.7 million euros, which was rejected instantly by Liverpool. So Liverpool value Luis Diaz at 100 million euros.
Which is around 80 million.
He has made it clear to Liverpool he wants to leave. That is according to David Ornstein. I think this is a deal that gets done, if I'm honest. I think Luis Diaz goes now. I think it's quite clear that it says there, David Ornstein says there, he's made it clear that he wants to leave. I think Liverpool don't hold him back, but what Liverpool are just waiting out for is the right price. Yeah. Yes, they might have put 100 million euros plus on him in terms of the fee, but I think they accept lower. I think they've got to accept lower. I don't think anyone's bidding 100 million euros.
Well, then they're not getting him. Then we're playing chess out here, Dave. It's not checkers. For me,
no, but I've said this before. We can't expect teams to drop their values if we don't drop on ours.
Do you want me to tell you why I think so? Bayern need Diaz. It's not a question of they want Diaz. Musiala's injured. He's out. Sane's pants. He's finished. Whoever else is the other winger there's finished. They need him. So they were willing to bid 110 or over 100 million or 100 million euros for Wirtz. They've got more money there. So no one's saying they can't have Diaz. You're going to have to give us what we want. Diaz has got 2 years left on his deal. He's probably the best winger in his position easily in the Premier League. The numbers he put out last season was outstanding. Second to Salah. Like I said, he's a Colombian international. It's not like he's a player who's declining. For me, if anything, he's coming off with one of his best seasons last season. So for me, 80 million, there's nothing wrong with us worrying 80 million. If they bidded how much, which is 67 million euros, how much is that in pounds?
It's about which one? The 67 million.
Yeah, what's that? 60 million?
I say that's about 58 million
Yeah,
pounds.
see, I think it's going to be around 75
That's
to 80
not enough. Yeah.
for me. I think they're going to have to. For me, no one's saying you can't have Diaz, and I do think once if the Diaz move does happen, that's when you'll see Liverpool confirm Rodrygo as the replacement. But either way, I don't mind if Diaz stays for another season and we sell him next season because he has 2 years left. I'm fine with that. But if he wants to go now, just give Liverpool the money that they're asking for, so we can go and get Rodrygo. I don't have no problems either way.
Speaking of Rodrygo, then we'll move on to Rodrygo because Eduardo Burgos, who is a reliable journalist in Spain, has said that Rodrygo's agent is working on a deal to bring the Brazilian to Merseyside. I mean, like I said, he's one of the three that I picked as my three ambitious signings. Rodrygo, for me, I think if a Diaz does go, I think Rodrygo would be a good replacement because it is someone that has already hit the heights of you can't, the play for the biggest club in the world and done very, very well at that club when he's been there. And he's as young age than Diaz. So he's got a higher ceiling than Diaz. I don't think Diaz can get any better, but I think Rodrygo's got a much higher ceiling. And the best thing about Rodrygo is he can play across the front three. If we don't end up getting a striker, then he can play there. He can cover Salah if needs be, and he can certainly play left wing as well.
You're future proofing as well because of his age. So for me, how old is he? 22, is it? Or a bit young?
24, I want to say.
24. So he's not even hit his prime yet. And in terms of what he's achieved, how high his ceiling is for me, and he's versatile. For me, Brazilian international, it's no brainer. That's a top signing.
It is an unbelievable signing, but I don't know how much we'd have to pay for these players. I mean, you're talking about 120 million for Isak. We already paid 100 million for Wirtz. Rodrygo, what would be the money? I've not seen any actual fees flying around on Rodrygo. Obviously, he's wanting to go. Real Madrid want to get rid of him, so they might budge a little bit on whatever they're asking for.
Yeah, potentially. I'm sure I saw something to say that they're willing. Is it? I don't know, 60 or 70 or 70 or 80 or something like that.
I've not seen anything.
They're open to letting him go, which tells me the price is not going to be ridiculous because they don't want him. They're open to letting him go.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so I think there'll be a bit more.
That means the price will go down a little bit. I just wanted to answer, Dame, if you were able to put up the comment of DB.
Yeah, I'm gonna this one here.
181, about Diaz's wages, just so I can.
Yeah,
I do. If we were to keep him 100%, I understand why he wants to leave. I do think he should get a new contract. If you ask Dame, I've been screaming this for the longest that he should. I would have doubled his wages easily. He should be. It's a crime that he's not on at least 150, but 150,000 a week. But it looks like Liverpool don't feel like maybe he's worth that. Obviously, I'm not in charge there, innit? I'm just saying if we keep him, he still has a year left next season, and you'll probably be able to sell him for 50, maybe 60 with a year left. But if we let him go now, then I'm also fine with that. I don't think Diaz really wants to go. I just think he's unhappy that he hasn't got the wages that made the new contract that he deserves. I think if Liverpool were to offer him the contract he wanted, he would be more than happy to stay. But I understand if he feels he's not getting paid his worth, which I do agree as well, then obviously you got to try and see if you can get that next contract somewhere else. So yeah, I understand.
That's what I'm saying. We're both saying here. Look, we agree why if Diaz wants to go, and then we sort of see it as his point. Like, yeah, I get it. If you have got a poor wage, then why would you not want to go and go get a better wage somewhere else? You know, at the end of the day, it's a football career short, and Diaz is not guaranteed to be first team. Right now, Gakpo's ahead of him in terms of that left wing position. We played Diaz up front last year, and he could straight into the Bayern Munich team, straight into the left wing, no messing around, and a better wage. It's like any other job. I've said it so many times. Any other job, if you're in a competitive salary job and you're doing twice as much than someone else who's on 3 times as much wage as you, then you're going to be pissed. He's looked at Chiesa. He's on nearly 3 times more than him. He's looked at Nunes. He's nearly 3 times more than him in wages. You're going to be really annoyed at that, whether you like it or not. I don't like how, and like I said, I've always agreed, like, if players want to move on, players want to move on. I said it about Trent. I was very, very adamant about Trent. I'd never give Trent abuse, never called him a rat like people did. I said, humans are humans. And I said, look, if he wants to go, he can go. It's just the way you go about it. And I think if Diaz handles it correctly, which in the last week, it doesn't seem like he has handled it correctly. If he handles it correctly from here on out, then it's fair enough. But no one is ever obliged to stay at Liverpool. No one is ever obliged to come to Liverpool. That's it. And look, if Diaz wants to move on, I wish him all luck. It's been a big part of us being successful. It's been a brilliant signing. Yes, he hasn't hit the heights we want him to hit. I think he could have easily hit better heights. I think obviously what happened to his father was not good. He got a big injury as well, which knocked him back. I think that Diaz. I always said when we bought Diaz the first few months, I said, "Now this guy is something else." He had he literally had Mane potential when he first came in, but the injury knocked him back massively. It is what it is, but I think he's been brilliant. Is he consistent enough? No, that's why he's not a starting left winger. I think he could have been better than Gakpo if he was more consistent, but he ain't. It is what it is. If he wants to move on, get the money for him.
Yeah, to be fair, for me, I don't even really look at him as a left wing anymore. He's more emergency left winger. If anything, I more look at him as a false nine. Based on how he was for us last season, if he was to stay, I would be more using him as he's either the false nine, he's the backup to say either Isak or Ekitike comes in, or he's the second choice to Gakpo, because Gakpo is the clear number one for left wing. I don't really look at him as the left wing. I think that position is kind of he doesn't look like he enjoys that position, because if you look at when he plays for Colombia, he plays up front. So, and he looks like he's got more freedom when we've allowed him to play the false nine. He's kind of more unpredictable. So I'm not even really looking at him as a left winger if he was to stay. So it'll be interesting how Bayern use him if he does move to Bayern.
Yeah, I will actually say something though about that false nines position. If a Diaz or a Gakpo were to play false nine this season, I think it would work more than it did last season because of Wirtz. Because they don't have to come back as much to create something, because Wirtz is that creator. All they have to do is concentrate. For me, whoever plays up front next season, it could be anyone. All they have to concentrate on doing is getting behind that defense and making those runs into the box, because Wirtz is that creator now. It would be perfect to have an Isak because he can do all sorts. He can do everything. He can come back and link up with the player, and he can do and let Wirtz go beyond him. That'll work and all. But speaking of that, actually, there was something that came out with David Ornstein this morning. Chiesa could be considered as an option down the middle this season.
I don't mind.
I hope Chiesa stays. If he is, what he needs to be, Chiesa. I don't know if you agree with me, but I think this is what I think about it. Chiesa does need to be a backup for all positions, and keep him for that.
Yeah. No, I do. I think it's a waste to let a player of Chiesa's quality go. Obviously, in terms of what Chiesa's thinking, he absolutely needs more minutes and he needs more opportunities. I know it was only Preston and it was a preseason game, but I was very impressed with his cameo, how he played up front. I think he's technically very gifted, and if we were to get rid of him, I don't see who you get who's going to be a better kind of squad player or a better choice in terms of you can play across the front three. You can be maybe the third choice for the left or the right or up front. So if he does stay, I look forward to him staying, and it does make sense to try and use him as an option to play him up front. Chiesa. I was gonna say, Dame, there was a comment there by Vibe Waves. He said,
let's be real. Even after Isak, we still need Nunes to play.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Nunes?
I don't want to be reeled back into Nunes. I can't be reeled back into Nunes. I know he did well at the weekend. His first goal was composure. His second goal, the third goal he scored was brilliant, dummy from him. But he does this every pre-season, and he drags you back in, and I'm not falling for it. I still want Diaz. If I was to keep anyone with Diaz or Nunes, it would be Diaz every day of the week.
I hate to say it though. I think there's a strong chance Nunes could say because of the tragedy.
I don't think he does.
But because of the tragedy that happened with Jota, it's a strong possibility because Napoli have kind of pulled out. So you kind of got to look at who's going to come in for Nunes.
I get it.
He's going to be the back.
I would think the club's made its mind up, regardless.
No, but what I'm saying is Liverpool can't force him to go if a club doesn't come in and match the bid.
I think they do, because also Romano said today that contacts have been made for Saudi Arabia for Darwin Nunes in recent days. So I think either Saudi Arabian teams come in to get him, or they at least push Napoli to pay the money.
I don't know. I don't think he wants to go there. So if he doesn't want to go there, you can't force him. Like me, I would go for Mateta because that's who we've been linked with a couple of days ago. That's who that would be my perfect backup. Only as a backup, though, I would never bring him in as the main striker. But as a backup, him to Isak, for me, you're laughing there. for me. But
Oh yeah, Mateta and
you're
Isak. They're
laughing
two different strikers.
all the way to the bank for me if you've got him as the backup to Isak. So yeah.
Red Goals here says it's been disputed by various journalists what Diaz wages actually are. Some saying it's as much more than 55k. The problem is with knowing who to believe. And one thing I'll say about that, I mean, from what everyone knew, it is about 55k, and someone said about 90k the other day in chat as well. But I think with Paul Gorst last 2 weeks ago, he said 140k, but I've not heard anyone back that up. And that was Paul Gorst, obviously very, very close to the clubs. Is he going to put? Then is he putting that PR out as Paul Gorst saying he's on 140k, so is no reason to leave, so it makes the club look better. That's the issue. Like who to believe? If Paul Gorst said 140k a week and other journalists backed it up, then I'd be like, yeah, it must be 140k a week then. Because I've not seen anyone else say anything since he said that, I still believe Diaz on a low wage for me. Escobar said Milan came in today, didn't they? I've not seen that, mate. I've not seen that at all. Fabrizio posted Saudi are backing for Nunes. Yep. They just did, about in the recent days. There are some funds, the clubs from the PIF fund working on a deal. So, yeah, I think Saudi clubs will be in for Nunes. Whether that opens the door again for Napoli, whether Napoli come back, it's up to Napoli. They're still trying to get rid of Osman out there to Galatasaray, so they've got to work on that as well. Make sure that's done as well. Mateta says Shea. I mean, me and Naj and Jake spoke about Mateta yesterday. I think Mateta would be a brilliant addition as a backup, certainly, if we was getting someone else, or I'll just come along with someone else. I prefer Mateta than Ekitike.
I was gonna say my counter to that though, the only kind of to play devil's advocate for a moment is I can't see Palace letting Mark Gay go and Mateta in the same window, two of their best players. As much as I would like to have both of them, I don't see them letting both of them go. It's hard enough that they're even trying to play hardball when it comes to letting one of them go. So yeah, I think it's more likely.
I'd rather Gay.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. We need him more as much as we need. That's what I'm saying. As a backup, potentially, I still see Nunes, because if we let Diaz go, we let Nunes go. Who's going to be the backup? Jadon Danns. As much as I rate him as a talented player, I still feel he's not ready. I still feel the loan didn't really work out last year with Sunderland. I think he kind of needs another loan, and he still needs to kind of fill out and get consistent games. I think that's a massive drop off. Just to say if we was to get Ekitike, or we was to get Isak, or say Diaz stayed and he's the 9, and then you go to Jadon Danns. Even though he's talented, I think the drop off is massive.
It's a lot of pressure. Unless, like you said, we could use like Diaz as a backup as well.
And it's a lot of pressure. Exactly, you just hit the nail on the head there as well. So,
DB says here Milan considering 60 million euros for Nunes, but the source wasn't reliable. Damon, I haven't seen that, mate. I haven't seen that, but like I said, I think Nunes does go. Whether who buys him or not, obviously, I think with who is it coming in with. Saudi Arabian teams potentially coming in, that could force the hand of a Milan or a Napoli. Liverpool could lose more than 200 million in 2025-26 and be PSR compliant if Isak, Wirtz, Kerkez, Frimpong and Mamadashvili come in. So we could still lose more than that money and still be PSR compliant. So there's no issues with us buying Isak. It does make no difference to us breaking any rules, because we ain't breaking any rules at all. We're so far ahead and not breaking rules that we have that massive wiggle room to buy someone like an Isak as well as a Wirtz. And bearing in mind as well, not only have we got room now to buy an Isak, to buy a Wirtz, we've got to remember we've got the sales to happen as well at some point. Elliott will probably likely to go. I mean, look at now. Alex Cooker said West Ham are planning on talks to Liverpool this week over RV Elliott. So RV Elliott's going to be out of the door probably this soon. Nunes, for me, still going out the door. Diaz will look more than likely to be out the door. So I think we could easily make 200 million back through sales anyway, Reece. I mean, we put 150 the week, didn't we? When we did it a week, we put 250 million we're going to get back, but that was without Diaz.
Yeah.
We didn't mention Diaz.
No, I'm not worried. I think when you balance the outgoings, the ingoings and the outgoings, I think we'll be fine. And if you look, our owners have always kind of run the club quite carefully, quite sensibly. So I'm not really worried. And you read the tweet there to do a PSR. Like I said, there's a reason why we're being able to spend to this magnitude this summer. I don't really think we have to worry about breaking any rules or being put into debt or anything like that. So,
and this is why, this That's why Newcastle fans can't fully rule out a move. I don't know if you can hear that rain, but it's absolutely pouring down now. We've had a summer now, Reece. It's been absolutely boiling for 2 weeks, and now it's absolutely pouring down back in the UK. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know if the microphone's cancelling that out, but I think because it's on the roof. But yeah, I think
is that the rain?
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
Yeah, that's strong.
And it's actually dark again. It feels dark again, and we've not had this darkness or this rain for a long time in the UK. And it's quite weird that we have got the rain again.
It's been raining all day up there.
Pretty much, but it's absolutely pelting it down now.
So, here,
that's nature saying they're a Newcastle fan. They're not happy about the news. Not happy about the news at all. Mother Nature is a Newcastle fan, ladies and gentlemen. That is the breaking news on Talking Reds tonight. Make sure you do, if you have joined us tonight, make sure you do hit that like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to all your latest Liverpool news and transfer news, and we're doing much more this season as well. We've got some big shows coming up, so stay tuned for all of that. How big is the difference between Isak and Ekitike? From someone who has seen enough both play, only know Isak is on another level right now. I mean, they are similar profiles where they play similar ways, but I think Isak's a different level. Isak is not only a different level of what he's doing in terms of goal scoring, and his overall play is a different level for me, and he's doing it in Premier League as well. He's doing it 10 times better in the Premier League than what he's doing in the Bundesliga. And there says Escapado, tears of Georges. I think it actually could be. It really could be. The way it's bouncing down now, Mother Nature is a Newcastle fan. I'm absolutely certain of it now. We've found out the loophole in the universe. For all your life questions, for all your shower questions, you know when you're in the shower and you come up with different questions in life, Mother Nature is a Newcastle fan. That is one answer to one of them. But yeah, regarding Isak and Newcastle, actually, get it back up again. Newcastle fans, just hold your horses and prepare yourselves, because if you sign Ekitike, let me ask you a question, Newcastle fans. I know you want in Ekitike, and I know what the answer is going to be. Are you willing to sacrifice Isak for Ekitike? And I know the answer is going to be no, because I won't be happy if we got Ekitike and not and they kept Isak. I won't be happy with that.
I would,
unless Ekitike came in with another striker. I've always said that. If Ekitike comes in, it's got to come in.
I wouldn't be over the moon, but I would, because I know we'll go back and get Isak next summer. So,
although actually Ekitike and Rodrygo won't be bad, because at least Rodrygo could play in front as well.
Do you know what's funny though? It's not that I don't rate Ekitike. I think he's a very talented player with a lot of potential, and for me, he's only going to get better. I just think where Liverpool are at right now, at the stage we're at in our development, we need someone who's at the elite level now, and that's why Isak fits the bill. So for me, that's what makes more sense. I think he would be a great replacement. Not to throw shade on Newcastle fans, but I think he'll be a great replacement for them, for Isak, because when you look at the position where Newcastle's at and the direction Liverpool's going in. So.
DB says, I'd say it's more the tears of Arsenal fans who were twerking for Gyökeres and then found out we're getting Isak. I mean, yeah, Arsenal, you know what? Fair play to Arsenal for doing that. You know, they got a lot of pelters for getting Madueke in, but they actually got the man in Gyökeres. I think it's a very, very good signing for Arsenal. I think it certainly takes them to another level because of they need a goal scorer, and that's exactly what he is. But if we were to get Isak, Arsenal fans would be looking at that Gyökeres deal thinking, they can't have out. They can't literally have out. But if we got Isak and Wirtz in the same window,
and Rodrygo, don't forget Rodrygo. Don't forget Rodrygo, Dame.
I know. But just those two alone. Forgetting Rodrygo. Rodrygo just be like, add an extra chocolate sauce into your ice cream. But the ice cream's already beautiful with Wirtz and Isak.
Yeah, and then you got Salah. And you got Salah
on top and the flake,
and you got Salah on the right. Oof.
I'd never want to go into a season and say, yeah, the title's ours, but
it is. We've said this though. Me
Isak, Rodrygo, Salah, Wirtz. I'm sorry for everyone. In fact, why the fuck am I apologising? Why am I apologising? I've been through fucking decades of hurt, right?
Yeah, no,
decades of Man United fans. Decades of Man United fans celebrating.
All the rivals can hold that. They can cry, they can be upset, they can be depressed. Hold all of that, because, like I said, Liverpool. I mean, we've had to put up with so much. We've had to put up with silly stuff as well. 2 titles in 30 years. this, that, or you never won the Premier League. These times we've won the most league titles ever. We're the most successful team in England. I don't care about no rivals. Like I said, their tears bring me joy. It motivates me. I'm not even gonna water it down for them. Like I said, when Isak comes, you might as well wrap the league up. Wrap the league up. Put the presentation on it. Put the red ribbons.
I tell you what, guys. I tell you what. If Isak comes, I'm going outside in that rain. If it rains that day, I'm going outside in that rain. I'm fucking soaking in those tears.
Skipping in the rain.
Live on stream. I'll soak in those tears. It'll be like an R&B 90s R&B song. I'll be like Usher dancing in the rain. Honestly, I will be absolutely loving it. I'll be in that rain, soaking up those tears, soaking up those Arsenal tears, soaking up my United tears. So I've seen my Arsenal, my United tears already today. Just the sheer thought of getting Isak. And then man, if we got him. And the Newcastle tears. Oh, wow. It would be unfathomable how annoyed Newcastle fans would be if it were to happen. Did someone say the quad says shit? I'm not going to do any quad talk this year. I think I mentioned it once, very, 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 very quietly last year, but I'm not doing that again. And Newcastle have told these that Liverpool not for sale, so Liverpool can look elsewhere. Well, if he's not for sale, then we just have to get your number one target, won't we? But
damn, and it's rinse and repeat. We've already been through this, Jonathan. So if that's what you think, if you think the sky is blue, the grass is green, and that's the only way things work, then for me, I can't help you. I don't know what to say.
Well, my grass isn't green at the moment. It's fucking yellow.
Yeah, well, mine's all sorts of
colors.
Mine's like the rainbow, mate. So all the colors I'm seeing right now, that's how happy I am with Liverpool's business. I'm seeing all sorts of colors.
All I'm saying, though, Jonathan, all I'm saying is just don't rule it out fully, because if you rule it out fully, then if it does happen, it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. I mean, like we say, like us as Liverpool fans, we could be sitting here and say, why would Konate leave? Konate is not going anywhere. We just won the title. Why would he leave us? But we sit here and think Konate could actually leave us. It could actually happen. Whether it be this year or next year, he can actually leave. And that's to a team that's just won the title. The difference between us and Real Madrid and you and us is a big difference. Tony says here, Newcastle can say what they want. If a player wants to leave, it's very difficult to keep them. I mean, the players do have a lot of power. But I think regarding Isak, whether he wants to leave or not, he could even put a deal in place with Newcastle. Look, I want to leave this summer, but if I don't mind playing another season here, and as long as you let me go next season. I don't think he'll do it disrespectfully, Isak. He doesn't seem the kind of player to do that.
I think, obviously, yeah, he seems like a gentleman. He'll try and do it the most respectful way he can. But I think if he goes for his agent and he tells, and what it sounds like, that's what the agent's telling them, and they still try to say no, then I can see him potentially forcing the move, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, especially if they do get Ekitike, because he's going to say it as, you've got my replacement, I'm going to buy it in the most respectful way I can, and you're still not allowing the move. So I think it all depends on Newcastle for me, but I think what's going to happen is if we do get Isak, they're going to have to get Ekitike first to cover themselves. It's not going to be the other way around. So it will be interesting to see how it develops and unfolds in the next couple weeks.
Regarding comment, Jonathan, Isak has not said he wants to leave Newcastle, so there you go. I said it earlier. If Liverpool make an approach from a player or make a bid for a player, they have been encouraged by the camp of the player. We do not move. We've seen it in the past. We do not make a move or a bid for a player if we don't know, if we haven't spoken to the player camp, at least his agent, and there's been encouragement of it.
Jonathan,
we don't do it.
Jonathan is Isak's agent. He knows more in it. So let Jonathan think what he likes. So like what
I do appreciate Jonathan. I do appreciate Jonathan coming in, because what Jonathan is what every football fan should be coming into and speaking about it, not just covering your eyes, covering your ears. He comes in and actually has genuine conversations about us as a Newcastle fan, and that's what football's all about. Fans coming together and having genuine conversations with each other, whether we like it or not. You know, I didn't want Coutinho to leave, but it happened. It happens, and that's what it was. The Coutinho situation was pretty much similar to what you're in out now with Isak. We're in a similar situation to you. We got rid of Coutinho and then built on that and ended up winning titles. Liverpool are a bigger club than Newcastle as well. So it's if we can understand as Liverpool fans, and we've been through it, then you've got to understand as Newcastle fans that at the end of the day, players aren't obliged to stay to you. Will he stay for Newcastle the rest of his life? Probably not. The odds are they're probably not. Will he go this summer? Who knows? But there is an opportunity there for him to do that because Liverpool want him now. And if he wants to go win the title or at least nearly win the title or Champions League this season or next season, then Liverpool right there for him. But like I said, I don't think he does push it as hard. I think he will push it a little bit, but I don't think he'll land transfer request in, for example, because if you have a transfer request in, there's a lot of implication that comes with that. You got to pay yourself out and stuff like that. But yeah, all I'm saying is Newcastle fans, just brace yourself, take a sit back, and you've got to hear people out. Don't just shut it off because if it does happen, or in Reese's case, when it does happen, it's going to hurt even more. But yeah, enjoy the rain, enjoy the weather, everyone. Mother Nature, I do apologise for talking about Newcastle and Isak. I might not do it tomorrow. If I need sunshine tomorrow, I can't talk about Isak at all. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching tonight. Make sure you do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new for all your latest Liverpool news and transfer news and just football general talk. We've got big shows on the way, rival shows. Hooks will be coming back very, very soon for Hooks, mine and Hooks show. We've also got some big things planned ahead for this season as well. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel and join us at Talking Reds. Thank you everyone for joining tonight. Enjoy your night, guys. Newcastle fans,